The Hubble Telescope Night Sky Challenge, September 2025. Brought to you by the Nurture Nature Center. Together, we can nurture nature, nurture knowledge, and nurture community. Also brought to you by the Hubble Space Telescope, bringing us images of the universe for the last 35 years. We're going to dive right into this month's Hubble objects. We have a lot of them, so let's get started. During the month of September, these night sky objects are visible throughout the month. We invite you to find them and compare your view with that of Hubble's. The submission deadline for September is the end of October. For a silver certificate, you only need to observe one. For the gold certificate, you need to observe 4. We'll spend some time reviewing the entire list for the Northern Hemisphere. During the month of September, there are 6 constellations in the night sky that we will find our Hubble objects within. They include Sagittarius, the Centaur Archer; Vulpecula, the Little Fox; Pegasus, the Winged Horse; Aquarius, the Water Carrier; Cygnus, the Swan; and finally, Sagitta, the Arrow. I'd encourage you throughout the month, as you are looking for the Hubble objects, find the constellation that the object is found within. Then use your star chart to locate that constellation. It will be a most helpful guide throughout the month, and you'll learn the constellations as well. So let's begin our list with Messier 15, otherwise known as the Great Pegasus Cluster. Discovered in 1746 by Italian astronomer Maraldi, this is one of the densest globular clusters ever discovered. Visible with binoculars, the bright core with hot blue stars host a rare kind of black hole. The intermediate mass black hole is about 4,000 times the mass of our own sun. M15 was the first globular cluster known to host a planetary nebula, another rare feature. At a distance of over 33,000 light-years from Earth, Messier 15 is found within the Pegasus constellation in the southern sky throughout the month of September. Use your star guide to help you find Pegasus, and you'll more easily locate M15. Our next object is Messier 27, also called the Dumbbell Nebula. Spotted by Messier himself in 1764, this was the first planetary nebula ever discovered. Now, this term can be confusing. It's actually the result of an old star shedding its outer layers, which can glow with magnificent color. Growing larger than our own solar system, it forms when the stellar winds from a dying star are not quite powerful enough to blow the dust and gas farther away. Found about 1,200 light-years from Earth, Messier 27 is found in the Little Fox constellation known as Vulpecula. Vulpecula can be seen in the southern sky almost directly overhead. Next we have Messier 55, called the Spectre Cluster. And despite the fact that M55 is reasonably bright and large, it lacks a dense core, and many of its stars are rather faint. It also sits low on the horizon, so viewing from the Northern Hemisphere is impacted by light traveling through more of the atmosphere. It took until 1778 for Messier to catalog it in his list. It is difficult to see even in dark skies. Messier 55, located 20,000 light-years away from us, is found in the constellation Sagittarius. Again in the southern sky, and notice the constellation Sagittarius is very close to the horizon, making it a challenge, especially if you have trees or buildings obstructing your view. So be sure to find a location with a clear view of the southern horizon. Next in our list is Messier 75, known as a globular cluster. Despite a dim magnitude of 8.6, M75 is actually easy to see with binoculars because of the extremely condensed center. However, because of its compactness, it is difficult to distinguish from stars in the same field of view. This Hubble image was taken to help astronomers understand stellar populations in globular clusters. A distance of over 67,000 light-years from Earth, Messier 75 is also found in Sagittarius, once again in the southern skies, low to the horizon. This is followed by Caldwell 20. It was named by William Herschel the North American Nebula because the entire scope and shape of this nebula actually appears like a map of North America. Now, this whole view is not seen in this close-up image because the whole nebula is more than 3 times the size of a full moon and is difficult to see in a single field of view. Emission nebula like this one are ionized by a nearby star, causing the gas to glow. The color red indicates the element hydrogen. Stars in C20 may one day form solar systems of their own. Only 1,800 light-years from Earth, Caldwell 20 can be found in the more recognizable constellation of Cygnus, the Swan. Look northward and then almost straight up, and you'll see throughout the month of September Cygnus, the Swan, flying overhead. Next we have Caldwell 27, called the Crescent Nebula. These incredible images taken from Hubble in 1995 reveal the dramatic story of an exploding star, blowing out bubbles of gas and ionized by the dying star within. The colors here reveal various levels of energy punching their way through the debris field. In the future, it may be completely destroyed through a supernova explosion. At a distance of 4,700 light-years away from Earth, this object is also found in the constellation Cygnus, once again almost directly overhead this time of year. Next we have Caldwell 55, often called the Saturn Nebula because of its shape. This colorful display reveals the possible future of our sun. When it runs out of fuel, it will suffer a similar fate as C55. As it explodes and expands later in life, the outer layers will escape its own gravitational tug. The expanding layers of the dying star will then fluoresce from the energy of the remaining white dwarf within. This is similar to how we see light from fluorescent lights at home. At a distance of 1,400 light-years from Earth, this planetary nebula can be found in the constellation Aquarius. Look in the southern sky and upward, From Sagittarius, you'll see the constellation Aquarius. Next we have Caldwell 57, also known as Barnard's Galaxy, named after the astronomer who first identified it. Now, astronomers have used the Hubble images of C57 to study the stellar populations to better understand the galaxy's history of star formation and the evolution of dwarf galaxies. The larger stars here are important because life would not be possible without them. Massive stars like these release heavier elements into the universe when they explode, and it is these elements that are required to form the planets capable of supporting life as we know it. 2 million light years from Earth, Caldwell 57 is also found in the constellation Sagittarius, a little further away from the horizon, so a little easier to detect than the previous Hubble objects. Messier 71, called the Angelfish Cluster, is our next object. This great ball of stars is around 27 light years across. The gravity of M71 holds it all together, existing as a suburb of our Milky Way galaxy. Known since the mid-18th century, this globular cluster has caused disputes among astronomers. It is currently thought the stars here are 9 to 10 billion years old and are made of very few elements other than hydrogen and helium. Found 13,000 light years from Earth, the Angelfish Cluster is found in the constellation Sagitta. Sagitta, the arrow, is a very small constellation found in the southern sky well above Sagittarius. Caldwell 15 is our final object this month. This is a blinking planetary nebula. Now, the blinking planetary gets its name from the astronomical trick called averted vision. When viewed directly with the eye, only the bright center star can be seen. But when glancing away from the center, called averted vision, the larger dust clouds come into view. Young and small, this planetary nebula is only about 1,000 years old and less than a half light year across. Only 2,200 light years away, Caldwell 15 is found in the Swan, known as Cygnus. Find Cygnus almost directly above, overhead this time of year, and you will locate C15. As mentioned before, every month you have a new opportunity to earn the Silver Award. Observe at least one of the objects each month and sketch or image the object, then identify the part of your sketch or image that corresponds to a part of the Hubble telescope image, and you will get recognition with a Silver Award certificate. Those of you that are a little more serious can earn the Gold Award. You've needed to observe 4 or more objects each month from the beginning of the year and submit them monthly. After sketching or imaging the objects, you too need to identify the part of your image that corresponds to Hubble's and submit them on a regular basis. Your journal entries can be submitted by the monthly deadline either directly to Richard Benson of the Astronomical League or to me, Henry Skirpst at Nurture Nature Center, and I will forward them on to Richard, who will give you the recognition you deserve. Please don't forget, if you have any interest in various science topics, we encourage you to check out the Citizen Science program offered through NASA. Check out this website for more detailed information. Also, we have a new blog series entitled Cosmic Questions. If you are interested in learning more about the universe and the cosmic questions it contains, we encourage you to scan the QR code to follow our monthly blog series. Coming up next month, October 4th of 2025, starting at 6:30 p.m., we have our next outdoor star party with Nurture Nature Center, located at Scott Park. Be sure to register beforehand by scanning the QR code below. But in addition to our star party this month, also don't forget the exciting news that the Earth and Sky Dome is currently under construction. Walking behind the center on Pine Street, you'll be able to notice its progress. Currently a big hole in the ground. Before too long, you'll see it building toward the stars itself. Now, we've got another big piece of information here. The Hubble Telescope Night Sky Challenge for October is going to be back in person. So this month, September, is the last virtual. We'll be bringing back the in-person challenge in October, but check out the new time. We will be meeting at about 6 o'clock p.m. at Scott Park in person to discuss next month's Hubble Night Sky Challenge, and it will be followed immediately by the Star Party, hosted by Nurture Nature Center. So we encourage you to come on down to Scott Park and enjoy a night out under the stars.